What if you threw Halo and Dead Space into a blender and then sprinkled in lots of roguelite elements? Well, then you'd have this week's topic, Deadzone Rogue. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
I want to thank everybody. If you were one of the folks that helped elevate my little Blue Sky post this past week about, I guess, as of when this goes up, I guess it would have been more like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. TikTok did something really, really crappy with one of our posts where we had posted something about like just highlighting a little indie gym game, Kitsune Tales, which happens to feature a gay character. And so like one of the hashtags we used that was, trying to attract LGBTQ folks so that they're like, see like, hey, this is a game you might want to check out. Like, hell yeah. Apparently TikTok didn't like that. And they're just like, no, the word queer violates our community guidelines. And that's a bunch of bullshit. So I posted about that on Blue Sky and you guys blew that up. So thank you very much for doing that and drawing attention to that because that is a bunch of bullshit. And yeah, I don't want to stand for that. So thank you so much to everyone that did that and stood up for what's right. So that's awesome. Thanks for being a great community.
That's wild. Is TikTok being canceled now? I'm so far disconnected from TikTok. I have no idea.
I don't know. Some weird stuff happened like months ago, and it is very much leaning down that like kind of same aspect of like X and Meta, where it's very much starting to feel like it is being very controlled and censored very one way. So there's like a lot of stuff that's very suppressed and it sucks. So yeah, it's not cool. But Blue Sky, thankfully, is such a good community and, doesn't stand for that kind of crap. So very appreciative of everybody there. So yeah, if you didn't see that, you can head over to our Blue Sky. You can see what that situation was about. Like the post is still there somewhere. And we like to engage with folks there on Blue Sky, especially like indie devs and stuff. So if you want to go check us out there, just look for Nerd Sloth over there. We'll be there. It'll probably be me you're talking to. So, come hang out with me for a little bit. It'll be fun. Maybe. I can't guarantee I'm fun, but I try to be. Speaking of fun, let's talk about this game. Game start! Deadzone Rogue was released on August 11th, 2025. This was developed and published by Prophecy Games, which used to be part of Hi-Res Studios up until 2019 when they branched off. Retails for $24.99, and for a quick description, this is a fast-paced roguelike FPS set aboard the derelict ISS X space station, overrun by biomechanical horrors. So you are blasting through waves of enemies using elemental weapons, amassing powerful augmentations and permanent upgrades, and trying to grow stronger with each death, either solo or co-op. So that's really cool. Joseph, tell me all about this game, because it looks so good.
So this is an FPS roguelike, as you stated. What's so good about this for me is it just gets right into the meat of it. It doesn't waste any time. You don't get a lot of like lead into it. You kind of just go in with the basic trope of like waking up. It is fully voice acted, or at least like your main character is. Everyone else just like automatons or whatever. And so like you're there, you wake up and you're just like, oh, like who am I? Where am I? All that. You have a gun in your hand. It's like, I guess I'll just start killing stuff. It's not, he doesn't say that, but that's kind of just what you're doing. So you immediately jump in.
Yeah. Normal United States day. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. and so you run in and you literally just like without much tutorial or anything, like it will slowly kind of like feed it to you, but it's nothing where it's like I have to go through tutorial mission 1 first before I can start regular stuff and do all the things and listen to the story and then all the backstory and then all the prelude. It's like, no, it's like you're getting right into the action of it. And as a, action roguelike, an FPS action roguelike, that's what you want from it. And you're getting that immediately. So it starts off on the right foot for me, for sure. And then the gameplay also, fortunately, is really fun and very satisfying. You have your basic weapons that you start with depending on the mission you're choosing. So there are, just to give like a overall, I guess, synopsis of it, there are 3 total levels. But when I say levels, that's like each level consists of, at least the main branches of it, each level consists of 30 different rooms that you're going through.
Yeah.
And so, but your runs are level specific. So it's like, I'm on this area of the ship. Like that's level 1. Level 2 is like the next area. Level 3 is like the final area. It was in early access. It just recently released on August 11th and 1.0. And that's where level 3 actually came in with the actual in-game portion of it. I haven't reached that yet because each run, like I was saying, is just a level. So I've beaten a run and a half technically, because within each level, there's also submissions you can do that are basically like mini runs, sort of. So the way that works is your main missions are the story missions. So you go through that, you go through the 30 stages, whatever. And then after you do that, okay, now I've unlocked level 2 and I could go and start that, or I can stay in the level 1 area and then do these submissions. I can unlock either new weapon skins, they can unlock new power-ups, things like that, new perks, or just what have you. So there, if you wanted to, you could just like shoot straight through and do the primary missions. It would probably be a lot more challenging for you because there are a lot of things you can get. It can kind of help bolster you in those submissions. You don't have to do them. They're not forced on you. And I think even if you did just go straight through like level 1, 2, and 3, you would still get a substantial amount of gameplay just in that, because that's essentially 3 separate runs you're doing. And everything in between is optional content. And there are also levels of difficulty you can ramp it up to, as with any roguelike, that will give you some sort of benefits for beating the harder settings and things to that degree.
Let's talk about like the gear and weapons and stuff too, because it looks like you have different gear slots and then you've got like weapon slots, and it looks like there's a variety of like rarity to those too. Or it looks like you've got like maybe some common weapons or some rare ones, maybe legendary or something.
Yeah.
Is there like specific slots for like the different things? Like I know you can have like a helmet, you can have armor. It looks like there's like some gloves there. Are those like specifically slotted into like helmet has to be in like a helmet slot, or is it just that you have so many slots and you can fill it with whatever?
Yeah, there are specific slots for each thing. The slots are, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I think I remember them all. There's your primary weapon, your secondary weapon, your melee weapon, your grenade.
Yeah.
Then, like you said, your helmet, your chest, your gloves, and your boots. I think that might be all of them.
Yeah.
And each of them is a separate slot. It's a looter shooter in a way, but not in the sense that it's like you're getting overwhelmed with the crazy amount of things you have to choose between. It's pretty straightforward. There is variety to the amount of weapons and things you can pick up, and you'll want to kind of see what you've picked up and sort of like implement that into whatever sort of build you're going for. So if you were going for primarily like a elemental build, which is like elemental things that are perks that are like on your weapon, like there's fire, ice, lightning, and there's like shadow or something. I don't remember what the other one is, but there are like 4 different ones at least. And then one run I went fire, like I just put a lot of fire stuff on my weapon. And then the more I chose of that, the more kind of like fire specific perks I was getting an option of, like, okay, I have this much of a chance of igniting an enemy. And then if I ignite an enemy, like one of the perks was like, it can also cause, when this enemy dies, it will spread the flames to all the enemies around it or something. So there are,
sick. Yeah.
There's like branching off builds in the different directions you go. So there's a lot of customization available in that sense. When you start out, there's your primary like build or run. I don't remember what it's called, but like your primary thing that you're going for is like, okay, I can either focus on criticals, I can focus on elemental, or I can focus on, it might be range or something, or no, it's not aiming. So just like not blind firing, but whatever it's called, hip firing. Yeah. And so it's like you're getting a bonus for, if you chose that route, you get a bonus for not aiming down the sight. and just like hip firing. And then there are different perks you can come across. It's like, okay, I have my the spread of my weapon is like 30% better when hip firing now, because when you hip fire, of course, it can kind of start going kind of crazy. Your gun's just kind of weaving around, but like that helps tighten that up a little bit so you're not as inaccurate with it. And you're on top of that, everything's stacking. So the bonuses you got from that initial choice are staying there as well. And it's just a really kind of fun way to get a pretty straightforward kind of build, but it doesn't mean it's not challenging at the same time. Even on the normal setting, like it took me a couple runs to actually get through a run while I was trying to like figure out how to play. But after that, you've got hard, and there's 2 more after hard that are just like locked. They're question marks. So it's like, okay, so this can get like really hard if you want it to be, which, you know, is appealing to me already. So that's I love that there's that option, but it's not locking you from like completing the game. I'm sure there will be some kind of like really cool bonuses if you're able to beat it on those harder settings, but you could still do a run through of it without feeling like, oh, I have to do all modifiers on as challenging as possible just to get some kind of true ending. It doesn't seem like that's the case here. So I have only beaten the first level of it as far as like the run goes. And then one of the submissions, which is like this one was specific to like melee enemies. So it's like all the enemies are just like bum rushing me the whole time in that submission. So I had to be very shotgun heavy in my build to make sure that I could fend off all these melee enemies rushing me. Yeah. And I was able to get through that too, which was really fun. And overall, like this is a game that I could and will like go back to after we're done recording this episode, because I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's an easy one to pick up and play and do a round of it and not necessarily feel like, oh, I've got to do it again. I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. It's satisfactory just doing like single runs here and there.
Have you played the co-op version, or have you just done solo so far?
I've just done solo so far, so I don't know like how it works exactly. I've heard it's pretty easy to like jump into, so I don't think it's super restrictive or anything. It's not nearly as complicated as like an Elden Ring multiplayer or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what that adds or if it's like the preferred way to play or anything. But as far as just playing solo, it's been super fun for me.
What's the kind of, so like there's definitely like a bit of a horror aspect to it too, like especially with the enemies and stuff, which is kind of why I was like comparing it to Dead Space a little bit. Like what was that like? Because I know that you tend to like, as much as like you love like horror movies and stuff, you tend to stay away from like horror games. Like, so
I just stay away from horror games because they're boring, usually the ones that I've played. So it's like this one, it's hard for me to gauge like whether like the horror aspect of it is strong because I've watched so many horror movies and so much sci-fi horror that it's like, I feel like it's good for what it is. I'm not getting like jump scared or anything. It doesn't feel like horror is a primary focus of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
just so. Like a really cool sci-fi kind of horror with like sci-fi horror vibes to it. Like you're on a derelict ship, obviously, so I don't think it leans into it as much as Dead Space or anything like that does.
Yeah.
But I think it is a really cool environment. As for an indie game, especially, like the graphics are really good. The gameplay is solid. I didn't run into any issues, no slowdowns, nothing, no crashes, obviously. So it just was a straight playthrough. And every single time, the controls feel really responsive. And yeah, I was just having a lot of fun with it.
I'm just curious. Have you ever played Proteus?
No. I don't think so.
It's a little bit more boomer shooter, I think, than what I think this probably is. But yeah, I think if you like this one, though, I think Proteus would be one that you would like a lot as well.
It's just called Proteus?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard of that.
Yeah, check it out. Like, I think you'd probably really like the graphics of it, too. Like, because it's kind of like this, but like big pixels. It's hard to describe, but yeah.
Oh, is it Proteus with the D?
Yeah, Proteus.
Oh, okay.
Proteus.
Interesting. Proteus. Okay. I was looking with the T. Okay, I like the Doom look to it.
Yeah.
And especially like the big pixel graphics, like you said. 2022. Yeah, interesting. Oh, it's on my wish list. I just never hit the bullet and picked it up.
Yeah.
But it is on sale. Maybe now's the time.
Cool. There it is.
It looks
and good. Into the cart. It wouldn't be an episode of the show if you didn't add something to your
buy a game mid-episode.
Like mid-episode. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like looking at the gameplay of it, it definitely looks similar. But this one, I guess, does seem to have more. There's a lot. this one's a lot bloodier since everything you're fighting in Deadzone is like a robot or an android or something.
Yeah,
like, there's not
exactly.
blood, just a lot of explosions.
Yeah, Proteus is a lot more like creatures and stuff. Like that one's a lot more akin to Doom, whereas Deadzone to me looks a lot more akin to something like Halo or something of that effect. If it was all like just robots. So
yeah,
but yeah, it looks great.
There are like spider creatures. I don't know if there's like a setting where you can turn that off for anybody who has that
arachnophobia,
thing, that arachnophobia kind of deal. Yeah.
I've heard about
I've
that.
Seen that in
other
a lot of games recently.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me. And I just assume that like you're completely screwed if you want to play the game webbed, which is just a skateboarding spider.
It's just a skateboard. It's just called board at that point.
Yeah, then it's just board. Oh man, I just saw though. Just because I was looking at the Proteus page that there's a Humble Games publisher sale right now with like things up to 80% off, and I was just like, oh man, so many good ones on there right now too for super cheap. Like the original Wizard of Legend is less than $5 right now, which is crazy.
And honestly, like I say what you will about the second one, but the first one is still the best one of the two. Yeah.
Proteus is like $10 off. Yeah.
Man, so many great deals. This is why I get pulled into the traps of getting so many games, because like I recently purchased, I looked upon a Switch 2, and now that I have it, I'm just like, I'm going to probably get like 3 or 4 games for it. Cause like I'm not going to buy an indie game on it because I'll just buy them on PC. The only thing I will get on the Switch that I can like excuse myself for getting are Nintendo exclusives, which is like, okay, that's the reason I would have a Nintendo console. But it's like all these deals, these amazing deals that go on Steam. It's like, it's hard for me to like push over to console usage for anything that I can just play on Steam and or Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, they also have like the East Asia Indie Games celebration going on right now too.
I saw there's a D&D celebration going on.
Oh,
also,
of course. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah. So it's like D&D games are like so much percentage off as well.
Oh my
I don't know if that
gosh.
includes Baldur's Gate 3, but I assume it would.
Oh man.
No, this one is Dungeons and Dragons like classic games.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah,
it's not a deal. It's a specific game that's a collection of classic games that there's a big sale on. For $3.99, you can get a ton of like old school D&D games. Interesting.
That's awesome. Well, we're going down a rabbit hole of good deals right now. And
just
then watch
my cart.
Now watch, this episode will go out and all those deals will be over and people will be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Being deceived.
Yeah, jerks.
Anyway, back to the game.
Yeah, play Deadzone Rogue.
This is one that, play Deadzone Rogue. If you like FPSs, if you like kind of fast-paced action games and you enjoy roguelikes, I think this one will be right up your alley.
Yeah.
It's, as I said, the gameplay is super satisfying, the loop of it. And there's enough content there to really like keep you busy, especially for right now. It's on sale for $20. Don't know if that'll still be on sale by the time this episode comes out. So I want to say that. But even full price, it's what do you say, $24.99? So still amazing price for the content you're getting.
Hell yeah.
Power up.
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor and throw us a like, a follow, share the episode or the podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support indie game devs. We also have a YouTube channel at youtube.com where you can catch us playing more indie games or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone.
Combo.
Let's talk about some other indie games we've been playing this week. Let me tell you about the most uncomfortable game I think I've played in a very long time. So, Dead Take is a first-person walking sim horror game that is chock full of like FMV additions where you're wandering through this extravagant, seemingly empty Hollywood mansion the day after this insane party. And you're playing as this actor named Chase, who is portrayed by Neil Newbon, searching for your missing friend named Vinny, who is played by Ben Starr. And as you're exploring the mansion, you're going to find tons of clues, solving escape room style puzzles, splicing together corrupt video files, and viewing their contents, which really shows you this super dark and sinister side of Hollywood and the entertainment industry and how just toxic and horrifying it can be. It feels a lot like a marriage of the Room series and a game made by Sam Barlow, like Her Story, or specifically, I would say Immortality, if you're familiar with either of those. There's like a growing complexity to some of the puzzles, but most of it is just kind of like solving one thing will lead you to the other thing, will lead you to the next thing, and everything will just kind of cascade. But there's just always something super dark and sinister to find within the videos, and those get super disturbing because of the realness of the acting and how menacing the presence of this like unseen director is, and like how abusive they are to the actors and stuff. The tone just like had me on edge the whole time, and I was like squirming. And then there's definitely like whatever is going on in there, and I don't want to spoil it because like there's a really big reveal at the end, and it is I was kind of shocked. So it's really good, but you are experiencing things within it too, where like you might like walk into a room and all of a sudden there's like a baby crib there and you're hearing these like baby crying noises and stuff and you're not seeing anything. And then you exit and then like you see like all of these mannequins posed a certain way with like photos of like the actors' faces pasted to them, and they're acting out what looks like the scene of like a murder or something. It's like, Jesus Christ, like it is super creepy, and this sort of like liminal nightmare that you're kind of walking through. And the cast is amazing, man. I already mentioned Neil and Ben, but you've also got Laura Bailey, Matt Mercer, Travis Willingham, Alana Pierce, just to name a few of them. So it's like, you know, top-notch acting on the FMV side of thing, and like the voice acting and stuff that's in it too. There's definitely some jump scares, and there's one in particular that got me really bad just because, like, you know, when I go into a horror game, I always expect there to be jump scares of some sort, right? Like, it's just like a movie, you know, you are prepared that there's going to be jump scares. So you steel yourself in a certain way. But this one, I did not expect whatsoever, where I feel like I can credit myself with usually being able to anticipate. I solved this puzzle in this like room, and it had to do with like, I had to collect a few pieces of this thing, assemble this like shrine kind of thing. And then like all of a sudden the room filled with this green mist, and I turned around and there was just some entity thing like right there in my face, and it scared the bejesus out of me. And I literally jumped up out of my chair, which I never do because I did not expect it in the slightest.
Nice.
It's not super long. It like only took maybe less than 4 hours, I think, to get through. But man, it is something. It is something. It was released on July 31st by Surgent Studios. Only retails for $14.99. Oddly enough, and this is what's funny, it has a bundle with POW World of all things that you can get. You can get it. I don't know why. POW World, but good God, it's definitely worth playing. It is creepy, but like, man, I do love me some spooky walking sims, and this is probably one of the best I've played.
Cool.
And here's one that's a little bit more healing from on that side of things. So I found this game that feels a lot like the first time I played Gris. It is a beautifully hand-drawn storybook art style puzzle platformer about a girl named Celine who has the ability to absorb and produce light from special plants and flowers to activate parts of the environment, make things shrink or glow, cause bugs to react, or illuminate new paths that you can take. So this is called Oscuro Blossoms Glow. And the point of the game is she is trying to restore the light of the mother flower, which was stolen by this entity called the Oscuro. And once you get to that point, from what I understand, there's going to be a very difficult moral choice to make. I don't know what that's going to be, but, you know, choices. I don't think it's nearly quite as emotional as something like Grease, but it does give you a lot of similar feelings right away, especially in the presentation. So if like you're looking for something to play once you finish like Neva, I think this is one to really check out. released on August 5th, 2025 by Hongo Neon, which is this tiny little team of like 3 from Costa Rica. And small price point, only $5.99. I'd say it's probably worth it. It's beautiful. And like the puzzles and everything, it plays a lot like Gris. So like that is totally up my alley. That was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. And I think this is the closest game I've ever had to evoking that same sense of feeling when I started playing it. So yeah, definitely recommend it.
It definitely has a cozy vibe to it. Just looking at some of the trailers.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed this.
Very cool.
What about yourself?
I finally beat Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Yeah.
And just not that it's a very long game. I just finally took the time to do it. And that was a really fun experience. I definitely appreciated the 2D side scrolling and just how it honors the series as a whole, but makes it a lot more approachable. And I had mentioned that like when I had talked about this game before, but it is definitely the most approachable Ninja Gaiden game you're probably going to find, as far as like general people jumping into it and not being overwhelmed by difficulty. It's not to say it's super easy, but it's like a good enough challenge to where you feel satisfied playing it. And after you play it, if it's not enough for you, there is a hard mode that is unlocked after you beat the game. So if you want to go through it even harder, you can. And there's just a lot of like cool collectibles you can get. There are multiple endings, at least 2 you can get. I haven't gotten both of them, but I think you can like go back into the final level and just like do it the other way and get the secondary ending. I don't think you have to play through the whole game again to get the secondary ending, fortunately. So just for anybody who's curious about those things, really good experience. I know it's like, I think like very positively reviewed on Steam. So I would absolutely agree with that and think that anybody who's a fan of just 2D side-scrolling action games would really enjoy this.
We need a good ninja game. I feel like there's
so many good ninja games coming out like this year. It feels like the year of the ninja.
Exactly. I was going to say up until this point, I feel like there just hasn't been a lot lately. And then it's like this year, it's just been like a huge amount. Like, because before this, I would say like the last few good ones we had was like maybe Katana Zero and The Messenger. And then that's like all I can really think of.
I mean, it depends on where you're looking.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton, but it just seems like now there are just like a lot that have been back to back. I can't even remember all of them. I know I've mentioned some on the show before. One that's coming out, I don't even know if it's this one's not indie, but I just want to mention it, which is the Shinobi Art of Vengeance. That obviously a ninja game, and it's the same sort of like 2D side-scrolling action with like really good animation to it. Like this one's not like pixel as much as it is like sort of a hand-drawn look to it. If you like check out that. But again, this is like developed and published by Sega. Well, developed by Lizard Cube also, which sounds indie, but Sega obviously not. So it's like, whether you consider it an indie game or not, I don't know. But at least as far as the ninja game goes, definitely is. So that one just looks super cool.
It does look good. I'm looking at it right now. Looks crazy.
Same vibes as Ninja Gaiden for sure.
Sega has done an indie game before where they like outsourced, what was it? It was Sonic Mania. That was outsourced to an indie studio.
So that's what I'm almost wondering if like Lizard Cube, the other developer, is kind of that same situation. Because they also did Wonder Boy, like the Dragon's Trap,
you know what?
Which is...
Yeah. It looks like they also did Streets of Rage 4, or they might have been a part of it. They were...
Looks like, the Ultimate Edition. Yeah. Okay, then it counts. Shinobi. Check that out.
Yeah, which like if you look at... I'm looking at the... so not necessarily the character animations, but if you look at like some of the effect animations and stuff on Streets of Rage 4, you can kind of see it looks similar to Shinobi.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it. Yeah.
So yeah.
Pretty cool.
Ninja. Year of the Ninja.
There you go.
Well, speaking of one of the other games I played, I've been playing through a lot of Atomic Owl, which is also a ninja game.
Heck yeah.
In this one, though, you're like a samurai owl, though. So it's like, but anthropomorphic samurai owl. That's been a really fun experience as well. It's the one we were talking about a few episodes ago where you've got that kind of like buddy cop situation or buddy comedy situation where your sword is the one who's doing most of the speaking, similar to Vampire Hunter D. And I have beaten so I think I beat a pass through of this. I beat like a run of it, but after I beat that run, it like killed me, and I think it told me I lost, and but then it resurrected me as like a different character. And this isn't really spoilery because it's like you won't have any idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but it's like a different character in like the lineage or something, which wasn't happening in my previous test. So it's like I guess I did beat it, but then that just opens up a new path to do something else, and it has gotten more challenging, and the pathway to like get through these levels has changed like drastically. So it's like almost a different game now in a way, same type of game, but like different layout of everything. So I'm curious to play more of that and really dive in and find out like what I can actually do. This one is a roguelike as well, and a 2D side-scrolling roguelike as well. And that one is it's been a really fun experience. Once I learned how to do the combat of it, you have 4 weapons that you're switching between at your will, and they all do something slightly different, like fighting wise, but then it starts to introduce different shields around the enemies that are colored specific to the color of the type of weapon that you're using. So it's like, all right, this guy has a yellow shield around him. I have to use my hammer to do this. And the hammers are kind of like, the way that they work is like Hammer Bros type of deal where it's just throwing the hammers. Yeah, you're not actually like hitting with it. So it's like, okay, I need to get a little bit of distance from this guy so I can throw the hammer at him and arc it in a way that it's going to hit him and break his shield. Then I can hit him with any weapon I want to, but I have to break the shield with the specific weapon. So it's adding new mechanics after I beat the first run of it, and it's become very interesting. The music is great, and the visuals of it are just like really beautiful. So I'm going to dive more into that one for sure.
Yeah, man, it looks great. I would love to see your gameplay of that too. And also, thanks a bunch to the dev who reached out to us recently too, and confirmed to us that you were correct when you talked about Vampire Hunter D when you brought this up the first time. That yes, that is where some of the inspiration came from, was Vampire Hunter D. So
yeah, I love that. Yeah, that makes me more inspired to play it, because like, all right, we're of the same mindset when it comes to these characters and the backgrounds of them. So it's like, cool. I'm curious to see where else this goes.
Yeah, especially after that twist where you beat the run, then you die, and now you're a new character. That's interesting.
Yeah. Which is like, I wonder how this is going to play out now, because I wasn't expecting that at all. Like nothing led me to believe that was going to happen.
And then it's like, is that your character going to play completely differently or something? Like what? Yeah, that's interesting.
And I won't say anything else about the character, but like once you get there, you'll see. Like I said, I don't think this is spoilery because there's no lead into it. And I have and even now that I am this character, I don't have any idea why I am this character. So it's like, it's like, it's going to slowly unfold to me, I'm sure, as I continue doing these runs or this run or whatever. But yeah, it's really cool. And I'm glad that I kind of jumped into this one, especially because it only has 12 reviews right now. So this is a little bit of a blind buy for me. And I'm glad I did it. It paid off.
Yeah. So more folks, please go get your eyes on this game. Check it out. Does it still have a demo up? It does not. Take our word for it. Go play it. Just go buy it.
Trust
it's great.
Trust it. It's great. Also, I mean, it's on sale it's not on sale right now, but it's $20, and I've spent how long in this game so far? I don't know, but either way, I have spent like a good amount of time in it, and I know, like I said, there's much more to go. I've spent 3 hours only playing it, and I've gotten that much out of it, and now it's like I'm excited to get more just based on like whatever it's going to reveal to me. I'm not sure yet.
Final round.
Let's talk about some upcoming indie games we're excited about. I am very excited to tell you about this one, which I mentioned just slightly before we started recording. But let me tell you about Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening, which releases really soon. This comes out on August 26th. This is an action platformer that looks straight out of a late 70s, early 80s anime series.
Let me tell you first off that Cobra is an early 80s anime series.
Is it?
That is this. So it's,
really?
Based on that.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah,
okay.
So they didn't just make this up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's an actual series.
Okay, that makes so much more sense, and I love it. And now I need to go watch that series. Thank you for pointing that out. And also now I feel slightly dumb, but it makes me even more excited for this game, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I still don't know anything about the game, though. I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this description, and I'm gonna emulate. I'm gonna do a voiceover from like the era that it's doing here. So.
Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening is an action platformer about the story of Cobra, the space pirate. Along with Lady Armoroid, your loyal partner, and equipped with your iconic Psycho Gun, you must solve a mystery that could threaten the entire universe.
I could see how if you thought this was just something somebody made up.
Yeah.
Just the mention of Psycho Gun and be like, wow, this is insane. But no, this is a real thing that existed before this.
That's crazy.
I need to know. This series existed before either of us were born, which means it's very old.
That makes sense as to why I didn't know anything about it. Like, I'm looking it up. Oh, you're right. 1982. Okay. But dude, I can't wait for this game.
I've never seen the anime, but I see now that there's a 4K UHD release of it, which I am all about. At least the movie, Space Adventure Cobra, the movie. One I wanted to bring up that I literally just learned about. It's also like a goofy sci-fi space one as well that has a very cartoonish vibe to it, but I don't think it's based on anything. I think that it's an original property. This one is called Raygun Gadabout, and it is Raygun Gadabout.
Okay.
Look that up. Just look up Raygun, like GAD, and you'll probably find it. It comes out on the 19th, so it'll be out by the time you hear this episode. It's a Metroidvania hand-drawn space exploration platformer, and it's 2D side-scrolling one. And it's got some like goofy looking cutscenes, but the animations of it is what really was selling me on it. It almost has like Earthworm Jim vibes to it, just by the way the combat looks.
I'm seeing
and just how I'm seeing the character like kind of inflate. Like this is just a pink haired like female protagonist, like in a kind of space outfit, and in like a dress, but it's with a space helmet on. It's a whole thing. But it's like, and a yellow cape, but I see her inflate like a balloon. So that's what was giving me Earthworm Jim vibes, was just like the way that it's kind of like really playing with the cartoonish aspect of it.
There's some really messed up character designs in this. Oh man. Yeah. There's definitely going to be some crude humor in this game. Like a la Earthworm Jim and Booger Man for sure.
Right. Yeah. I see like this boss, a screenshot of this boss. It's just like got all boobs. Yeah. Like,
oh man. Yeah.
So this one just looks entertaining.
Her design. So the design of like the protagonist looks very, very familiar to me. Like, and I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. Almost like a, gosh, I can't think of it. Man, this is going to bug me, but it's reminding me a little bit of a cartoon from Cartoon Network from like the early 2000s, but I can't think of the name right now.
I can't place it, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Either way, looks entertaining, and it looks just like a fun, chill Metroidvania. But that's the one I wanted to bring up just because we were talking about space stuff. Everything we're talking about today is connected, either ninja stuff or space stuff.
Or horror.
Or yeah, like literally everything. We've just gone back and forth with the same genres. So great.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Game over.
If you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all the things we do here at Nerd Sloth Creative. You can also check the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, subreddit, merch store, and tons of other cool stuff. But get in touch with us and let us know what indie games you're playing and help us elevate these games so we can help support indie devs. But that's game over for us. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game let's plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.